Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Star Trek Elite Force 2, released in 2003, came with better graphics, longer main story, more complex weapons and more interesting level designs. Game includes more Star Trek themed elements.
There's too much anti-lepton interference.
Additional content was included for fans of tricorder gameplay and for those who prefer certain things bigger, nicer looking and more in your face. The story is set 2 years after the plot of Star Trek Nemesis. Voyager got home, and after a brief prologue, Hazard Team is assigned to the Enterprise, flagship of the Federation.
Hazard Team reporting for duty, sir.
As with any good Star Trek story, we start with a distress signal. Another Federation ship is under attack, and our team prepares to investigate. Without spoiling the plot, we encounter two new races and immediately have to choose who to trust more: Space Beavers or Romulans Light. During the story, we uncover a plot involving a rebellion, a superweapon, Klingons, Ferengi and Romulans. I won't spoil more, but even though I prefer the first Elite Force game, this one is still worth playing. My full gameplay video covers the entire story for those who don't want to experience it firsthand. Right from the start, you will notice the gameplay feels different, at least I did. The reload mechanics were something I really didn't expect from a Star Trek game. It seems developers of sequels often assume that reloading weapons is something we will be doing in the future a lot. Both Elite Force 2 and Mass Effect 2 can attest to that. The first thing I noticed gameplay-wise was the weapons feel somehow nerfed compared to the first game. The iMod requires more hits to take down Borg, and the Federation assault rifle takes just as long to kill the weakest enemy as the phaser does. The ammo limitations from the first game are still present, so you'll often rely on the phaser to conserve energy for your other weapons. You will also notice that enemies seem to have more compact hitboxes, while Monroe feels like he's walking around with a wooden barrel strapped to him. Even when it looks that the shot missed, you still lose health. The main and most frequent enemy in the game is what I call the Harvesters 2.0. Similar feel, similar Zerg Rush gameplay. I don't know if this was intentional, but back when I was younger, there were 3 years between playing both games. Now that I have played them back to back, it really hits me how samey it feels. The game is more fleshed out overall. The map feels more detailed, which is helped by the improved visuals. The crew talks more about what is happening, which helps the atmosphere, and some of the funniest Easter eggs can be found by listening to NPCs chat about random stuff.
In diagnostics mode. Why would you do a thing like that? Isn't Andorian flora carnivorous?
Well, yes, but...
Who gave you authorization to disable those safety protocols?
No one did. I didn't think it would turn out this way.
You realize you could have been eaten. I'm rescheduling the rest of my appointments today as you clearly need my counseling.
But what about my plants in the hydroponics bed?
You know, their aged Romulan ale is just the standard Romulan ale they don't sell right away. Every couple of years, they pump a bunch of it out of storage, they change the label on the bottle, and they sell it for twice the price.
Really? That's terrible.
It's true. And what's more, it's not all a century old. Some of it's from 150-year-old batches, others from 50-year-old batches. They just mix it all together and they kind of average it out.
What a ripoff.
Here tells me you're looking for transportation?
Yes, indeed. If it's a big vessel.
Big vessel? The Kaitan is a Wudan-class transport vessel.
Should I know what that means?
And let's just say, it's big. I've outhauled Romulan starships, not just the D-cruisers either. I can carry more cargo than even the big Dideridex-class ships. What's the cargo?
Only myself, 10 transport containers of domesticated targ, and no questions asked.
What?
Overall, in my opinion, the game is better except for the gunplay. That's unfortunate since it is an FPS game. But even with that flaw, it is still a very good Star Trek game with a decent story and voice acting that includes absolute legends like Patrick Stewart or Jeffrey Combs.
Filled all existing memory with random data.
Without his data, we can't prove he knew the Master Control Facility was a weapon of mass destruction.
Then it looks like we'll have to release Omag.
But he is an accessory to murder.
Give it a go. Both Elite Force games are available on Good Old Games for a reasonable price. See you next time.
That's what keeps the profits high.
It's so great, get me a posting in operations.
No. You can only get inside when you have a perfect 3-year record, like mine.
Perfect record?
Not one successful enemy infiltration.
No enemy has even attempted an infiltration.
That kind of success speaks for itself. That's why I'll be inside with the officers, and not out here in the cold.